doesn't say next is FOCUS. Focus. Give it up, y'all.
How y'all doing? Now, how's everybody doing? What's up, y'all? All right, we're gonna do some poetry right quick. Give it up to Miss Renita Brown for this song. Y'all don't realize right now is like one of the illest time periods ever known. So I decided to write this holy matrimony between the streets, the police, this piece, my heart's metronome. Every day this nation, a million that gets welcome to the Terror Dome. So when you leave your home, be careful when you cross that threshold because life is stuck on test mode. Once you get locked in, ain't too many ways to let go. Even those with flavor, they just a seasoned vegetable. They got used to the heat. So now they wearing carrots and putting juice to the beast. Young cats ain't playing, they saying ain't no stopping me from steaming broccoli and turning powder and baking soda into cauliflower. That's why the DEA devours street credibility in the wee hours. Police sirens are putting us on public display. Detectives, they dedicated to the homicide rate. And it's amazing what they find on the scene they investigated in the first 48, and they ironically blamed it on arts and entertainment. Actions speak louder than words, especially when explosions from gunpowder occurs. So when the smoke clears, then the lights and the cameras and the action appears. Those that lost focus, they turn seconds to years. Those with baggage, they make their badges, make their tragic batting average. Those with monthly quotas, they document the events over donuts and Folgers. Those involved in the brawl, they may never get their problem solved. But the family that took a loss in the tragedy, they feel the worst of all. For them, this is just one of the many issues written on the wall. A proper burial they couldn't even afford. They wanted to pursue justice to the fullest extent of the law. But their family attorney, he never passed the bar. I guess living happily ever after hardly ever happens after all. So I'm going ahead and putting some lyrics to the paper, doing some things because we see so many tragedies on this earth. So all these money makers, 8 to 5, 9 to 6, 1 to 10, graveyard shifts. Tell me this, were you brought up to get caught up in a barrel of water with jealous crabs snapping at your the daily task, not the blast off? Because you're scared you might land back on the asphalt. People devour all these times, all these minutes and hours, so sometimes I want to see a woman act soft like a flower. Instead, she's out acting harder, looking for water. I said, baby girl, are you truly a daughter? You ought to go ahead, sit down and act right, get some perfume. Yo, go ahead, make some gravy and rice or something. Maybe then you can find a man, real men, they look for a helping hand. They look for somebody that can wipe some sweat off their forehead. So go ahead, do some things that we like to see. I like to see them sensual with an unconditional picture for the art that a man has. She's attracted to the complex mind where she finds eyes, no ends, curves, no bends, a best friend with answers to recommend. 2 hands that understand the needs for her fingertips. She likes the grip of the sweet juice from the fruit she licks, and she shares with the man who runs 5 fingers through her hair in such a way just to make her say nothing at all. She just savors the flavor in her man's behavior because she knows she has him the same way that he has her. So let's have each other over and over infinitely, mostly because you're the LOVE of a woman to me. I like to get tangled up like French braid. I like to be like 10 spades. I like to be like 10 spades with 1 heart, 2 diamonds, no clubs, just black love, jacuzzi bathtub, sweet smelling suds and oils for back rubs. All because massages after body washes takes her away like cowgirl. So why don't you tell Ryan where you like it, want it, need it, even if we get weeded, I don't mind getting intertwined like French braids. And I remember times up in New York when I first met her. Actually, we had known each other back in the day. From my left came a voice, not in my immediate search for self. She's a cutie pie. She's found within the depths of where my head used to rest. Both our surprised looks were met with her soft scream, a long hug, and a long time no see. One thing it still holds true, that little girl in your eyes, she still deserves you. Your knowledge of self is evident and it's beautiful. So what brought us here so far from our familiar? It could be questioned, but I won't. Because a moment spoiled is without fire. One not looking for two is without desire. So we sat down, answered some questions for a while, over dinner, under New York stars, right between familiar smiles. The days since our last kiss might as well be miles left behind. I knew I couldn't continue to look in the rear view. Conversation moves from what we've been through into the inner truth and what sins do to blessings. Good questions came and went. Time spent a spider web that was strong and vibrant, enough to make tarantulas and black widows outside the windows jealous of us. We even had the waitress and waiters waiting because we wasn't in a rush as we laughed enough to make the Chardonnay blush.
Come on, folks.
Even though couples in the corner caught a crush on what's been for them and what is for us in unfamiliar territory, creating a fuss with familiar stories about living, love, and lust, and losing jobs because we both missed the bus. Family that betrayed you, the friends I still trust. Reparation, retribution, how our children are our future, and why Cupid loves to shoot you but hurts us so much. I'm just so glad we had this time to walk and talk over dinner in New York back then, right now, between smiles and conversation in this unfamiliar but familiar situation. No longer missing you, the lady that's you, the lady we miss. We reminisce over you, a woman that can be a woman hour after hour, that soft flower, the one I would love to devour. Not in a bad way, but in a good way, you know. At nighttime, we'll pray, you know. Of course, she'll be wearing lingerie, you know. That's what I like, you know, especially on nights after I've been spitting on the mic. You know, days after the, you know, the daytime job, constantly going through that political fight. You know, the radio, they got swamp-infested lyrics. And our children, they continue to listen while this capitalistic optimism beats their eardrums into submission. There's a need for new sounds. That's why I started listening. And I found that I am the I am that I want to be, despite this capitalistic society. You see, my home away from home demands to be cloned as deep within the ocean, beyond the moons and stars, so far but yet so close. It's under hypnosis, sworn under God, the Bible, the Quran, they all forcing me to focus on more than just Sharon. You see, the confines of my mind is infested with the essence of hip-hop in its original design. Years of reviewing the blueprints and doing live shows has proven the shoe fits and it supports the same line. But every day, 21 MCs, they getting ate up at the same time. That's because the industry is capitalistic. Anything less than that is bad for business. That's why so much sadness sizzles like pig on Waffle House griddles when you think the game is simple. Putting your credentials over live instrumentals should be your resume that helps us all elevate, or at least another way to place a homeless race back into real estate. That appreciates you and makes you some more revenue. So don't believe the lie that we're running out of time and avenues that can establish you some capital. I choose the yabba dabba do over jazzy grooves to make my blues more better, so I can butter these biscuits and kick it with divas who don't believe in using meat cleavers to cut off my cable. Every time I get the fever for the flavor of magically delicious strawberry-scented women meant for this behavior. Excuse me, miss, more Ovaltine, please. You see, that's a slogan spoken for the sexy, bubbly, malted chocolate sisters by the dopest poets and MCs. Feeling effects from getting twisted and coming to grips with what's really realistic. Sex sells, so the opposite, still putting lipstick on this capitalistic system with materialistic champagne wishes and fast cars and movie stars and DVDs and big screens, and years of chasing all of these American dreams got Polynesians named Polly about tired of crackers. Now they want coffee with their cream. Most of us living with a spirit mirroring the illiterate, thinking they love us a lot, come to find out it was just a little bit. But maybe if things was different, like our attitudes, our intent, how our money gets spent. Maybe if we had a DJ for president, maybe then we'll start to get at least 50% for every attempt at spitting some real shit. I'm praying for the fulfillment of what will uplift us, not just me, but us. But first we must discuss and understand our issues. Then we can continue to deal with the crust of the matter. Feelings can be added, prayers can be said, so the top lid be there to complete this pie of life. Or should I say this cycle of strife? So we can get a grip on the vice verses we write. Package them in plastic wrap, 12-track lyrical acrobats. Flipping back to when hip-hop was hip-hop. The rest of that was whack. Itching for a scratch that's abstract. My name is Focus, y'all.